Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code THPN. The Manscaped Performance 5.0 Ultra has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Inside this package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little bit off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. So remember, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code THPN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code THPN at manscaped.com. It's Smooth Sack Summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's great to be with you. Terry Ryan here, host of Tales with TR. Obviously, you just tuned in. And here's episode 211A. It's been an eventful week. I've been gone from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland for exactly a week, as a lot of you know. I started by going to the Dennis Bonvie, Craig McDonald, Rinks to Links Golf Classic. We raised a lot of money for an unreal cause. Check it out online if you want to donate more. You can still do that. Thanks to Jason and Craig. And everybody else involved, really. Here we go. God, I wouldn't know where to start. It's marijuana, for those of you that are wondering, not cigarettes. People have asked me that before. I have a little one-hitter, and I got some moderately, not even really potent. For those that know, I think it's 13 or 14% THC, and I have a puff of that here and there during the day. Calms me down a bit, as I have coffee, but today's coffee is decaf. Anyway, sometimes it helps me tick a little bit, just a little bit of weed, not much. Of course, there are times that I like to indulge, hit a movie or whatever it might be. And I'm telling you this, as we speak, a good friend, not a good friend, an acquaintance I met online who played hockey is texting me. I have to be, just give me 1 second. This guy might be a guest next week. Okay, sorry about that. I might as well say it. I mean, why not? I reached out to a few people this week that I really wanted to, when I get busy, I'll finish talking about the, Game 7 and the Bonvie tournament in a minute. But I reached out to a lot of people that I look up to. Normally I have people on here that I've come across that I know well, that at least I've known a little, like Tales with TR. Loosely, when I thought about it, I'm like, I'd rather have people that have come across. The Tales with TR would be almost like with TR, Tales with. We experienced it together. And then it branched out to people like, say, Jeremy Roenick. How can I not have him on if he wants to come on? Congrats, JR, by the way, for getting in the Hall of Fame. You know, because I do the odd, so I knew him, and we'd have like at least 1 or 2 stories together. In this case, we did some charity tournaments. But this guy, Curtis Gabriel. Okay, now Curtis, I only met online. I respect him. He got up to the NHL. He did what it took. Could throw his fist pretty well. And has been open about some mental health issues and battles like we all do, like we all experience, I think. I'm not diminishing anything he went through. I think to be a human, you must face mental adversity. Some people way worse than others. Some people are born with a crutch of some sort. I mean, you can't even say the word handicap anymore. I mean, it's a word, right? Anyway, and that's it. Some people are born, I guess, with born into adversity. Everything is about wording it the right way now, right? But my point is, he's very open and honest. He was successful, so people not only identify with him when it comes to the mental side of things, but they look up to him. It's good if you're a hockey fan. It's good to see someone that played in the NHL that maybe goes through what you do, right? You don't feel as alone. Things like that. And Curtis had an interesting career, to say the least. Now he's got back into school. I identify with that a little bit when you're overwards and when your career's over. And Curtis is like 30. He's a young guy. I was 32. And you go back to school and he just got accepted to go into Athabasca. So that's exciting for him. So I'd love to get him on and talk about his career, of which I didn't experience with him, but I've met him. Sorry, I've met him online. I've really met him, but we've spoken online enough, and I love what he does and some of his approaches, and he really stands up for marginalized groups a lot. He's an outspoken, seems like a compassionate, good guy, and I'm looking forward to the possibility of having him on. So anyway. Now, so the Bonvie tournament, guys, so it was awesome. I went up there on the Thursday. On the Friday was the tournament. Thursday, we all got together, hockey stories, some beers. We golfed, but it wasn't part of the tournament. God, I suck at golf. But those guys helped me and gave me some decent clubs, but I realized how bad I am when I'm around good golfers. Anyway, we start the tourney, 10 o'clock. Or the golf match, what would you say? Golf tournament, yeah. But we all, that night was the Oilers playing, so we just stayed at the course, right? Had some drinks afterwards. Some of us went back out for a couple of holes. There was some great bands playing. And I mean it all day. Like there was a musical act there. They really know how to do it there. So thanks, Craig and Dennis. But it was awesome because I met Cam Russell for the first time. Again, I kind of met, quote unquote, online, I suppose. And we did have a fight on Hockey Night in Canada. I just mean since that fight, outside of an email or a phone call, I'd never sat down with Cam Russell. And it was awesome because we spoke a bit about our fight, obviously, but it was more about friends. Like I told you, some friends of mine that recently passed, Todd Gillingham and Greg Smith, the bird dog. He knew those guys, and we spoke about that, which always leads to other conversations. Bonvie, yeah, it was awesome. Roddy McCormick, I heard all about this legend, and I finally got to meet him. Stevie Dixon was over there. Trent Burt. Rick Bowness. It was awesome to meet Rick Bowness. And, I mean, if it wasn't a celebration of hockey enough, and if that wasn't good enough, the game ends, or so the golf ends, and that night now the Oilers are coming on. So it was the Oilers game 6. They win. We're freaking out. My buddy Joey Wadden calls and says, "We're going to game 7." So without explaining all of it, Sean Thornton hooked. You guys know my buddy Trans Sam with. Well, he hooked Sandman up with a bunch of tickets, and in turn hooked me up with a few, and brought some good buddies. Johnny Daw, Jordan Escott, and Joey Wadden. Jesus, what am I forgetting? So that was the Newfoundland group that came with me, but there was all kinds more. Trevor Bowering ran into. And then you get the hockey guys, the Darren Dreger and James Duthie and Mike Johnson and Ryan Rashog, and just a real good, great group of people that some of them, like Mike Johnson, I hadn't really met John. I mean, I guess I did. I played against him. And I know he gave me a shout out after the Growlers game. But it was so cool to get down there. And this was the first night. So I went straight there from Halifax instead of coming home. And we had a wicked spot. Thank you, Taran Samwith, on the beach, Fort Lauderdale. What was the hotel we were at? Good Lord. Oh, the Four Seasons. And, the Four Seasons was maybe a 15-minute walk down the beach from the Elbow Room. So with all kinds of cool stuff in between, mostly bars, restaurants, with cool patios, a beach all the way. And when you jump into the water and Fort Lauderdale. It's fairly refreshing, but it's it's nice and lukewarm-ish. It's just slightly refreshing. But here in Newfoundland, you can't really get into the water, especially not this time of year. But it's just the ocean anyway. We can go swimming now like anywhere else. But there's so much ice that floats by that the North Atlantic is so cold that there's not really a great time of the year from my angle in St. John's. There's other places, but the way the currents work and everything, there's it's possible. It's just freezing cold. But it was nice to be able to get in the water, and it was good to see the Chicklets guys. And by the way, yes, I know a lot of people are texting me, loving that we were hanging out with the Chicklets guys and the vibe. I woke up the next day fucking mortified when I saw the videos, because I love the Chicklets boys, but you often don't know when the videos. You got to assume that everything is always being videotaped, like it's 1985. Everything's being recorded. Now it's fine because we were having fun. But when Biz says, "Oh, you're gonna spit on me," that wasn't spit. Yes, I was on the second floor. I was throwing ice cubes at him, and he only noticed it like the fifth one, and 2 went off his head because the fucker was so buzzed. And anyway, they I won't say exploiting, because I'm very aware and I'm having fun. They like to take advantage of my good time Charlie vibe when it comes to parties, I guess. And Game 7 was no exception. So do I regret anything? No. Now, all your messages were pretty nice, to be honest. But when I looked at them, at the videos, I'm telling you, I don't like seeing myself in that situation. And maybe part of it's having Penny Lane. The first thing I did when I got home, I sat her down. I said, now, I turn it on and off. The other thing for you guys watching that, I did get a couple of texts like, "Hey, buddy, might want to slow down." Look, I don't even have beer in my house. I don't need to justify this to anybody, but I don't drink a lot. I know that would, by not a lot, I mean like once a week. Like I get shit-faced usually once a week. If I miss that week, definitely the next week. Rarely does like 3 weeks go by that I don't tie one on. And maybe that is a lot. I don't know. But I mean, like, I'm going to Penny Lane's soccer this weekend, the Atlantics. I'm going to watching Gander. It won't even like dawn on me. Like, you know what? I'll get in the car. I'll get in the Jeep. I got a tent. I missed the boat. I didn't think I was going to be here. So I can't, I missed the boat on getting a hotel. There's only so many, and it's the Atlantics. Like, so there's going to be all kinds of teams. But I'm bringing a tent. Said, fuck it. Got a fishing rod. Going to bring the barbecue. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. But where was I going with that? Yeah, like I won't even, and I won't go, and it doesn't take me willpower to stay off the beer. Like, it really doesn't. I don't care. I hate hangovers. I hate alcohol. There is no, like when people say, "What's your favorite drink?" I don't fucking know. I guess I drink vodka, pineapple, a Caesar maybe, whatever can be most disguised. Beer, I drink Bud Light, yes. I know a lot of you out there, especially in the American South, are upset at that. It has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with my friends here, Jeremy Hart in particular, over the years that, I grew up with. That's a good friend. And I met people at Labatt's through him. They've been very good to me over the years. And when I drink Labatt's, I like to drink Bud Light, right? Nothing else to it. So, and I'm not so vulnerable mentally that I'll drink something else because there's a connotation with Bud Light. Whatever. I support LGBTQ. I don't give a fuck, man. Do what you want. I think it's the silliest thing ever for me to judge someone else about where they put their private parts. Unless it's somewhere legal. But other than that, what do I care? Right? What do I care? 2 guys live down the road. They go into their house. What do I care that they fuck each other? Why would I give a fuck about, or 2 girls or whatever, 2 fucking porcupines, whatever it is, why do I care about that act? Just like I don't care what they're eating tonight for supper, just like I don't care what they watch on TV. Well, I guess I care if they watch Shoresy there. But anyway, so outside of that, but I get it that sometimes there's a stance that needs to be taken, and some people got upset because they figured Bud Light went too far with it. And whatever, you might have a point, you might not. I really don't know. I don't care because I drink what I like. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know people think because of some of the stories I tell that maybe there's a little inflection of gayness there. There's not. There's not. It would make me puke to suck a dick or something. It really would. And that's not an insult to gay people. I'm not one bit wired that way. But again, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I can tell the story in my book, the transgender story, because I'm comfortable with it. And, it was a situation that happened. Sexuality to me is, like, I respect it. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I think it's almost people's individual sexuality. It's so overrated and in your face now. I don't hate that there's a gay parade, but hopefully someday soon we can stop having them. Right? Just, but I get that we need to have it because groups get marginalized. I'm not one of these people that says, well, there's a Black History Month and there should be a white history. What if we had white history? They'd all go crazy. Yeah, because they were fucking oppressed and they were slaves for a long time. And the Jim Crow laws and shit like that. And in the 1950s and 60s, as recent as that, Black people in a lot of North America had to ride the back of the bus and shit. Or the front. They were segregated. And I get all that. I don't know why I just went off on that tangent. But, and I don't know where I was going with that. But anyway, yeah, that's just my personal belief. Now, can it... There are arguments within that argument, right? Drag queens reading to kids. I don't mind Penny Lane because she's very comfortable with all that. We've had the conversation. There's not much that a drag queen could surprise Penny Lane. We've gone to shows at Greensleeves, like one of my favorite bars. They have them there once in a while. I don't go down to go to the drag show, but we were down there eating one day. They had one upstairs. We checked it out for a laugh. Really, it's not a big deal. But anyway, what I'm saying is that, yeah, that's a different argument, though. I'm fine with it. I could see how people wouldn't be. Makes total sense. There are levels of politics to each, situation when it comes to racism or sexism or just ignorance in general, right? I understand all of that, and there's a lot to be unpacked. And I feel for people that feel marginalized or whatever. And I can't put myself there, but I try to at least understand. If you're not hurting me, I really don't care.
Bet the action on the ice with DraftKings Sportsbook. With DraftKings, you can bet on any game you want. Whether you want to bet the puck line or the over-under, DraftKings has something for everybody. And if you want, you can throw down on your favorite player as an anytime goal scorer. Or if you're looking for a long-term bet, maybe you want to predict the Stanley Cup champion. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN. New customers get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on hockey. That's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.co/ice for eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved.
Anyway, why do I go off like this? But anyway, yeah, I had to explain that to Penny Lane. I'm like, I don't have beer. What I was saying, I don't love alcohol. I smoke weed almost every day, And like I said, I just lit this up. It's not very potent. I think 13%. Some stuff I smoke or ingest, I'd rather ingest it because as an athlete, I still find that even if it's just weed, I don't put any tobacco in there. It still sometimes can annoy my lungs a little bit, cause a little bit of mucus. And that, of course, you can't breathe as well as an athlete. So yeah, but anyway, there's all the different levels. I'm very comfortable in marijuana, in psychedelics to a degree, microdosing, whatever. I don't need to get into all that. I just mean I'm not even big on alcohol. But if you were to watch me in just Chicklets appearances, now again, every time we see each other, it's either at like Chicklets Live, it's at the Chicklets Cup, it's at an NHL game, Game 7, nonetheless. So you're probably I've probably been waiting for a week, usually, and save up and go down there and get fucking bamboozled. But, or people that see my dad do the same. He only drinks on Fridays. So, like, of course, there's exceptions. But if he drinks on Saturday, he won't have had alcohol on the Friday, right? Obviously, if we go to Chicklets Cup, it's going to be a little bit different. He's 71. Mom will give him that free pass. But, or we were home here last summer. Blue Rodeo was playing on Saturday, so he saved it up for Saturday. But never would Senior think about, unless we were at Chicklets Cup, I can't think of one other exception, putting a beer to his mouth if he drank the night before. And I feel the exact same. But you see me putting that beer to my mouth and the shot. And that night we were taking, it's one thing to microdose mushrooms. And I'm a big proponent in that. Since I started doing that, I actually drink less. And I won't even think about doing any drugs other than that. Puts me in a good place. But if I take too many and I do shooters, doing a shooter on mushrooms for me is almost pointless. But I do it because people buy them and I get into it and I get so excited and into the moment that I often come off loud and obnoxious. And maybe I come off like that because I am being loud and obnoxious. But anyway, no, when I actually, a lot of that filming was early in the day. Once we got to the rink, and we got up to the box, myself and my buddy Johnny Doss sat down. I said, okay, like I'm going to get a couple of vodka water. And I just got water. I said to the guy, just let everybody think I'm drinking. Give me a vodka, give me a soda. Right. And I had 2 of those in the first just to kind of come back a little bit because I was getting so ossified. I said, I want to remember Game 7. So anyway, now that all being said, we had a blast though. And I got mostly positive feedback from all of that. And I love Chicklets and I'll do it again and we'll go down and we'll have fun again and again. I'm just explaining that to you. The thing that bothers me when I watch it, I get a bit cringe because I'm getting so fucking hammered. And I guess I have a daughter. I have people out there that like fans that really care about me from Shoresy or Chicklets or the NHL days or the Growlers or whatever. And they really, really care. And when they see someone acting like a fucking buffoon, I guess they call me on it a little bit. So that's, I guess, why my hesitance for those videos sometimes is on display. But anyway. So, but outside of that, we go. It was a great fucking time. We sit down, and sure enough, man, like I had the vibe. It felt like Edmonton were going to win when we got to the arena. But before we got to the arena, once we did and we sat down, I don't know if it was the home crowd. I don't know what. I don't know if it was the first few minutes of the game. But clearly, like Florida, and I know if I'd seen game 4, 5, and 6, I probably wouldn't say that. But they had a stranglehold on the boys. Like McDavid again is a real Draisaitl. There seemed to be they were hurt to some degree. I really don't know. I guess we'll hear it. As were guys on Florida, I'm sure. I mean, we know Barkov, we know Reinhart, and everybody's probably hurt to a degree. Not saying it looked slow. Edmonton just looked like I saw the games 4, 5, and 6 on TV, and it looked like they had enormous energy. It looked like they were steamrolling the Florida Panthers at times. I didn't see that at all in Game 7. Now, were there flashes of brilliance? Yes. On both sides? Yes. Could it have gone either way? Yes. It was a one-goal game. And a lot of the local fans were upset I was cheering for the Oilers. First of all, I work with the Jason Gregor show, and I know as someone on the radio, I probably shouldn't be always siding with the home team. I really don't know. It's the Jason Gregor show in Edmonton. It gives me a reason to watch. I'm watching the best fucking player in the world right now, Connor McDavid. Watched a team, and I love so many other storylines, from Zach Hyman getting more than 50 goals, to Evan Bouchard literally turning into a Norris candidate overnight. Not overnight, but you know what I mean. I don't think we've said this even a year ago. Ekholm, the more I watch that guy play, I fucking love his style. Holloway, I think, came into his own in the playoffs. Evander Kane was hurt, clearly played hurt at times. A guy that came in here over a year ago and I thought would be a bit of a cancer in the room, did not turn out to be that. He turned out to be a great story. Seems to me that outside of the injury, which is not great, obviously, but he kind of turned his attitude and his life around a little bit in Edmonton. So much to love. Oil Nation, Kate, the girl who flashed her tits, the Stuart Skinner, right? Really turning it around. Lots of positive little vibe stories around the Oilers. And I was proud to be part of it. I don't consider myself the biggest fan that's going to paint his face. Do I consider myself part of Oilers Nation? Kind of. I'm on the periphery. I'm not a super fan, so like as the game ended, I was immediately happy for Florida, right? Immediately. Sean Thornton's down there. It's one of my good buddies, man. Now, Thornty got us the tickets. He knew we were there with a bunch of people from Edmonton. Sandman's from there. I work on the radio there. I can see him coming down on RA a little bit, and the guys from Chicklets. They literally have a pick. They shouldn't. Well, I mean, there's no me to say, but they normally wouldn't have a horse in the race. But they make storylines and everything else, and I think Thornty was half kidding. You got to pick somebody. Plus, of course, they wanted Edmonton to come back when they did. Force a Game 7, why wouldn't you? But for me, I didn't get much of an agitated feeling from crowds, but they were literally wondering. Like, there was Florida fans going, "Hey, come on, Teddy Hitchcock, why don't you cheer for us? Like, what gives?" And I was going, guys, and I had to kind of explain it. But really, most of the vibe I got was one of absolute celebration, of love for hockey. And even though the Panthers have been there a long time, it's still a little bit unnatural to be down there in June of all months, late June. It's scorching, and have so many people flooding to the arena to see a hockey team play. But it was, I got to say, all along that strip, man, it was more Panthers stuff than anything else. And there's a lot of hockey fans down there. I don't care what you say. And it's not just people that went to the rink and jumped on the bandwagon. We met there's a guy, Jesse, I met at the bar yesterday in Taylor. We went to Rock Bar yesterday during the day. Our flight was delayed. And good food, by the way, guys. Thank you very much for that. Had some calamari, which was awesome. And some soup. But just met some fans that, were just as passionate as the Oilers fans. And they were right there, born and raised in Fort Lauderdale or Miami. And it was just a feeling. It was a celebration. It really was. And when everything from, there was two guys on the beach. Me and Biz went out to jump in the water the day of the game. And I got off, and there was two guys from Cuba that came up, and they said, we're from Cuba. I think they were waiting on their status to be citizens, the way they explained it to me. But they said the first thing they fell in love with was hockey, because they moved to Miami, and they, the Panthers, and we're talking where the rink is probably 45 minutes north of all that. But they went to games and they fell in love with it, and they knew Shoresy. Now here's a couple of guys that they hadn't been in the United States very long. they moved there in their 20s, and they watched Shoresy. And the guy said, yeah, he goes, I got one platform, Hulu, and that's what I watch. And he said, we love the Panthers. And he knew like Connor McDavid's stats. And you're hearing people come from Cuba into Miami to get into hockey, tell me Connor McDavid's stats. It just makes me proud of the sport. It really does. I'm getting goosebumps now. And that wasn't a one-off. That wasn't an outlier. That was happening everywhere. Like everywhere we went. Now, I know what you'll say. Well, you're down to Game 7. Yes, but we were way off the beaten path of Game 7. Of course, there's going to be, but I'm saying, of course, people are going to be go Panthers. But like just consistently running into people that knew about like power play breakouts and even how long the intermissions were or whatever. Like they really knew a little bit about hockey more than I knew a little bit about football 20 years ago. I tell you that. And they were proud to like a Newfoundlander is proud to take a tourist out and show them, our wonderful province. These people were proud to display their knowledge and of the game and their love of the game onto us, right? And they felt it like I said, it was a celebration of hockey. They felt, to me, it was more bonding with the Oilers fans than anything. Way more of that. Now, all you'll hear about, of course, is the booing McDavid when he didn't get the Conn Smythe and how classless Florida fans are and everything. Trust me, that was nothing. That was a fucking one-off. That's a bunch of people. That's monkey see, monkey do. And it's not even really that big of a deal. What do you expect them to do? What the fuck do you expect them to do? Maybe lightly cheer. It's the roof's not going to come off the place. Fuck, man. Right? And they're wanting their goalie to get it. Even though Bobrovsky, of course, in the finals didn't have he dropped off hard. But McDavid didn't have a point in the final 2 games. Now, Game 6, they won. So you can make Game 7. What if that's another sport? What if that's basketball? And you get into the finals and Tatum did nothing and Boston lose. Or what if Mahomes has an average game? Right? What if you get into the final, Kansas City, Mahomes throws 10 for 25, gets picked off once. Oh, let's say 15 for 28, or I don't know. McDavid he did not show up. I shouldn't say that. But he didn't get any points, which in hockey, it's harder to do, of course, but there is a parallel. There is a parallel. And if you're a fan down there and you're watching your team win it and another guy on the other team who's like your arch rival, the best player in the world, get the Conn Smythe, you're not surprised there was a few boos? Really? Because I'm telling you, outside before the game was an unreal tailgate, people hugging and sharing stories, and like a lot of Oilers fans and Panthers fans high-fiving, just celebrating the great sport that we play and that we were fortunate enough to be involved in. That still pays off to this day for me. I'm telling you right now, it was nothing but love. It was a lot of fun. And I gotta thank the people at the Elbow Room too. They treated us awesome and gave us a lot of free drinks, at least me and my friends, for the weekend. And even though I got the heave-ho on Thursday, I got thrown out of the bar for the first time in I don't know how long. But I was. That's why I said when we take so many mushrooms, I was pretty fucked up. The guy was nice about it. He came over and just said, dude, I think you're fucked. And I was. I had to go. So I went back to the hotel, and my good buddy Johnny Dog picked up a load of fucking Mexican food. We had burritos, tacos, everything else, and I woke up feeling like $1 million. And we got to the Elbow Room the next day, and they were laughing about it. Gave me a few free drinks, and wanted me to do whatever I did. I did a little blurb there for the bar. But yeah, thank you. They were great. And the people at the Four Seasons Rock Bar, like I said, Jesse Tyler, I told you guys I'd mention you, and here I am doing that. And just the Chicklets guys, thanks for involving my buddies and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the Chicklets Cup. But always, just always treat me so well. And like I said, once in a while I make a fool of myself, of course, but it's all in love. It's all in hockey fandom and the hockey culture. And I'm very proud to be even on the outside of the Chicklets world. Thanks to the Jason Greger Show for having me on this year, and so many wonderful fans. There was the whole weekend, there was a dozen times that I welled up and I had goosebumps. Now, of course, mushrooms will do that sometimes, but no, I'm kidding. Without all of that stuff, it was a real vibe. Congrats to the Panthers, but congrats to the Oilers. It's going to be tough to get over, but fuck me, man. One goal, it's a long road, and it's tough, man. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's tough to lose and go this far because you're just as banged up as the other team. You've played just as long. Now you've got a short break with no Stanley Cup ring. So I can see how that would be tough, but you guys handled yourself with professionalism, class. I think both teams did. I loved the final. I thought it was my favorite in recent years for many reasons. Of course, being at Game 7 would have been one of the biggest, but I'm a big fan of generational players from Canada. And of course, I loved watching Sidney Crosby win. Well, I loved watching Connor McDavid battle. I mentioned everybody earlier that there's storylines that I follow that I am really, that intrigue me. But Connor McDavid battled. He left everything out there. He did from setting records to doing unprecedented things like bringing your team back from 3 games down to force a Game 7. It was brilliant. They fell short, but nothing but praise, and I'd be ultra proud if I was them. It could have gone either way, and it ended up coming down to 1 goal for the Stanley Cup. And I don't think there's anybody that was in that building that didn't feel some level of love for the awesome sport that we play, that we follow, and the 2 fantastic hockey teams that delivered us so much end-to-end action and terrific storylines. So on that note, me and Princess are going to take off. I'm going to play a little bit of ball hockey now, and then I'm going to take off, maybe even tonight. But I'm going out to watch Penny Lane, and I'm going to camp. I missed the hotel, so I'm going to bring my pop-up tent, otherwise known as the fuck tent. But I'm going to bring that, not to make it a fuck tent. I've gone too far with all of that. Now it's a tent, and if you happen to... It's a tent, which is a bed, and if things happen, they happen. But my point of all this is to go out and barbecue and fish. And to be honest with you, it's my buddy Gary Clark coming out with me. So it probably won't be a fuck tent this weekend. But the boys are going to go fishing, maybe go for some nice hikes and watch some unreal soccer action. Good luck to Newfoundland. They start tomorrow against PEI. Good luck to my daughter Penny Lane and company. And I'm really looking forward to coming out and watching some soccer and chilling out with some friends and my buddy Gary Clark. So thanks for tuning in. Folks, if you're downtown St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, guess what? You know where I'd go? If I wanted to have a good time, if I wanted to check out the scenery on George Street, I'd go to the Bull and Barrel. I'd go to Trinity Pub, TJ's Pub, Rob Roy Confusion, the Martini Bar, Greensleeves. I was going to eat. Why not drop into the Loose Tie, Blue on Water, or Merchant Tavern? And of course, Wedgwood Cafe on Elizabeth Avenue. If you want to work out, you want to get fit, Rope Walk Lane, power conditioning, strength and balance for the body and mind. You want to go to Mr. Lube, there's 2 locations. One's on Torbay Road, one's on Camount Road. Live, laugh, lube! Pitbull Pain Relief, the pain sticks just don't quit. Go to pitbullpainrelief.com, see what all the fuss is about. And of course, True Hockey, take what's yours. Folks, I'm going to be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Realistically, a couple days. And I'm going to have a great guest, and we're going to talk hockey, and we're going to talk life, and we're going to spread the good word. How about that? The word is love. Like the Beatles said, the word is love. Okay. Thank you for listening. Catch you guys on the rebound. Back soon.